Being a real estate agent, what are the most common misconceptions and really what is it all about? Hey, I am Mr. Maciek, and in this channel I teach people all about investing in real estate, being a real estate agent, stock market investing, and just in general how to make money. So if that interests you, please subscribe below and let's get right into it. Hey, real quick, I noticed that YouTube Analytics is telling me that a whopping 69% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So please really do go click and subscribe to this channel. Okay, let's get into it. First, we're gonna be talking about all the misconceptions about being a real estate agent, and then we're gonna talk about the real deal, what it's like being a real estate agent. So when it comes to misconceptions, one thing is for sure, is that people are real estate agents for a long time, and that is not true at all. It is important to know that over 90% of new licensees do not renew their license after the first initial licensing period, which in Florida is between 18 and 24 months. That's 9 out of 10 agents that got licensed with you in class are not even renewing their license. Crazy. Now, the most common misconception that I hear is about you get licensed, you get deals. And that's just not how it works. You think that just by getting licensed and signing up with a broker that you are all of a sudden gonna get phone calls from all these long lost people looking to buy and sell homes. And although you may have a good sphere of influence, that people that know you, that like you, and already trust you, that does not mean you're gonna go get a deal just like that. It does take a lot of work and a lot of conversations with people to go get your first deal. And if you're new to the area and you just got licensed in a new state and you don't know anybody, well, then you're gonna have to do a lot of prospecting, but we'll get into that in a moment. Okay, another misconception is that you're gonna have tons of money. And granted, you can make a lot of money. That is a great career to make a lot of money if you're a hard worker. However, you don't get paid unless you get a deal. So we do all this work up front, and then some deals just fall through. And you put hours and hours, if not tens of hours into something, and then nothing comes about. But you know, it's a numbers game. That's what I really like about real estate, is that it's a numbers game. You call a whole bunch of people, a certain percentage are gonna go and call you back, certain percentage are gonna go on appointments with you, and certain percentage are gonna close. So you don't have to worry about all the ones that never even called you back. And the last misconception I really want to talk about is time. People think that they get licensed and all of a sudden that they have all this time, all this free time in the world. And just like any business, if you go and start a business and you don't put a lot of time into it, aka working, then you're not going to get much out of it. So I think that's why a lot of people don't renew their licenses, because they're not willing to put the time into it, because they came in with this misconception that once I get licensed, I will have my own schedule, the freedom of time. And that may be true, but if you don't make your freedom of time all about working and prospecting, then you're not gonna make any money and you're not gonna stay a real estate agent. Now, also related to time is that you think you're gonna work on your schedule, meaning you're gonna go and, maybe you're just part-time at the beginning and you're gonna work from 9 a.m. until noon, and then you're gonna go pick up the kids, cook dinner, and do whatever you wanna do, kayak or something. The fact of the matter is that when you find a client, let's just say a buyer, you're gonna be working on their schedule. If they're only available from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m., well then you might not be able to be their agent, because you have obligations. So just because you think that you have the freedom to set your own schedule, understand that clients are the ones that dictate when you are going to be working. Sure, you can play around a little bit with that and you can try to find a mutually agreeable time, but honestly, if they're only here on the weekend visiting from out of town, then that weekend you're working or you're not getting paid. That's just how it goes. All right, and now let's just get into the reality, because this is really what you guys want to know, right? Hey, if you're enjoying this video right now and this content, please smash the like button until it turns blue. So what is it like being a real estate agent? First, let's talk about the two types of representation that you can do. You can either be a buyer's agent or a listing agent, and on some occasions you actually get to do both. You're representing the listing and then you find a buyer. So what does that really look like? It's very different sets of skills that you need to have for both of these. Now let's first talk about listing agent, because in the industry there's a saying, list to last. You want to last through all the ups and downs, you want to be a listing agent. So if you start focusing on all the things that you need to do to be a great listing agent, you are going to be amazing as an agent. So basically, a listing agent is the individual that goes and gets the contract, lists the house for sale in the MLS, and then markets it and advertises it to other agents and other buyers. This game is all about rejection. And you may say, wait, what? Rejection? How is it about rejection? Well, you're going on appointments, and these are sellers who have interviewed many other agents, and only one will win. So there's a lot of other agents getting rejected in this game. So if you're the type of person that gets all emotional about not getting the deal because you did this great presentation, well, then this may not be for you. A listing agent is one that gets rejected over and over and over again, especially at the beginning when your skill sets are low, your objection handlers are not skilled and polished, and you really just don't know what you don't know. Now let's talk about buyer's agents. A lot of agents start off by being a buyer's agent, sometimes for a team. What's the benefit of being a buyer's agent is that you get to learn about the whole transaction, because there's a lot of buyers out there and they're a lot easier to find. Also, when they reject a home, they're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting your presentation like a listing agent did. They're rejecting the actual home. So there's an emotional detachment there. It's not you getting rejected, it's just a home. No problem. Go and show more homes. So as you are a buyer's agent, you're gonna get to learn a lot. And that's really the second thing I wanna talk about, is just about learning. This industry is ever changing. There's a lot of things that are consistent, but you as a salesperson have to constantly learn and learn and learn. Not only are you gonna learn about the area, the neighborhood, the homes, the prices, the neighborhoods, like specific little pocket neighborhoods or homeowners associations and the different condo buildings. And then there's insurance, and then there's all this stuff that you have to learn. This industry is really about learning, and if you want to be a good real estate agent, then you should make learning a priority. Hey, by the way, do you know anyone who's interested in becoming a real estate agent, or maybe just recently got licensed? Please share this video with them. Let me just say that if you're the type of person and you think you know it all, when someone tries to tell you something and teach you something, you're like, oh, I know that. Get out of the industry. You have no business being in this industry. If you're a closed-minded person, nobody's gonna wanna work with you. You should be very open-minded and really be willing to learn. So speaking of learning, one of the things is contracts, and not everyone loves contract law, and you don't have to have a law degree, but you should understand the contract. And at the company that I work at, we do a lot of training on contracts, so we have a competitive advantage because we're able to strategize based on the buyer's needs, how to offer and how to formulate the offer so that our buyer will actually win. Not just win the offer, but really have all of their goals met. And then when I'm a listing agent and I receive offers, I'm able to interpret numerous offers. Let's just say we have a multiple offer scenario. I'm able to interpret that and relate to the seller and see which one of these offers meets the seller's goals. Because every offer has a few differences in it, and it's important to understand all of that. So there's a lot of learning on contracts. All right, so let's get over the learning. What is next? And that is about marketing. Not only are you going to have to learn to market and really get into a marketing mindset for yourself, you need to let people know you're a real estate agent. Otherwise, who's going to know that you're an agent? Don't be a closet agent. And also marketing the properties that you end up getting as a listing. So once you get a listing, you have to market it through many channels and try to get as many eyeballs on that listing. Putting it in the MLS and forgetting about it is probably the worst strategy you can do as a real estate professional. In fact, I would call you a real estate non-professional if that's all you do. If you don't do professional photos and then push it to all the top selling agents and then reach out to your entire buyers list and then check with all your Facebook people to see who do they know that might be interested in it, and then the list goes on. There's so many things you have to do to market that property. And if you want to get calls of buyers calling you or listings calling you, then you really have to market yourself as a real estate professional, because who's going to know if you don't tell people? And sometimes that involves spending some money on marketing, and other times it's just about being consistent and showing up to different meetings, maybe church events, and just reminding people here and there that you're a real estate agent. Okay, next I really want to talk about the big elephant in the room, and this is the P word. Prospecting. That's a big one. So what is prospecting? You're basically looking for people that want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And there are many ways, I mean countless ways to actually prospect. But the most effective ways are going for what we call the low-hanging fruit. You know, if there's a tree growing, there's a bunch of mangoes, are you gonna go all the way up to the top of the tree to get those mangoes? Or are you gonna go where the branches are low, you could just go pick that fruit? The low-hanging fruit is the easiest to get. And those would be for sale by owners and expired listings. For sale by owners are already raising their hands, I want to sell my home, I just don't want to pay an agent. And your job is to show them the value of picking an agent, picking you. And then there's the expired listings, the ones that failed to sell. They had raised their hand previously, but for whatever reason, it didn't sell. Maybe it was overpriced, maybe the market was bad, maybe there was a redneck neighbor or something that they didn't like. So you have to show them and handle all their objections and show them that you can get the job done. So those are the low-hanging fruit, but aside from that, you know, there's only a handful of those. You have to go and really prospect. Now, one way that people prospect quite a bit is open houses. New agents do open houses. They pick some real estate listing within their office, and then they hold an open house, usually on a weekend. Sunday is usually the best day for that. Now, in the open house, buyers come, and they can go get their names, you can call them, and you have to follow up, follow up, follow up. They say money is in the follow-up. So it's not about the first interaction. You got to follow up with people, usually 1 to 2 dozen times before they commit to working with you. And aside from that, you have to prospect with your sphere of influence, the people that know you, like you, and trust you. You got to call them, you got to remind them, got to email them, text them, send them little video messages. There's so many different ways to do it, but basically what I'm saying is that your job, the reality is you are a prospecting machine. And if you are not a prospecting machine, get out of the business once again, because you are going to be just one of the statistics, one of the 9 out of 10 that don't renew their license. Prospecting is the key to being successful in real estate. And leading from the prospecting has to do with time management, aka time blocking. So if you set a time management plan for your prospecting time and your appointments time and your writing and negotiating contracts time and your administrative tasks time, then you're going to be pretty successful as long as you are disciplined enough to stick with that schedule. It's really important to have the prospecting time blocked. You block that out, that segment of day is blocked out, nothing else interferes, your phone is off, you're using a landline, however you do it, you're not doing anything to get distracted. Okay, now another reality is that this is a people business. So you have to really learn about people skills. For example, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. This is a great thing to study, and once you start using it and implementing it, you're going to become more successful at helping your clients. Also, you have to know how to diffuse escalated situations. A real estate transaction is usually people's largest purchase or sale. It's the largest dollar value transaction for most people in America. So naturally, there are emotions that get risen and stirred up. And if someone's about to lose $3,000, $4,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, there's going to be some problems. So you need to understand people skills well enough to diffuse the situation, get the best out of it from the situation that is at hand, and learn from it so you never go through that again. And the last thing I want to talk about with the reality is about closing. Some people are very nervous asking for the sale or asking for someone to make a decision right there. It's really a confrontational moment that happens within a relationship where when you're showing property out there and you show 5, 10 properties, you know, you should really ask that person, which one would you like to offer on? Or was there anyone that stuck out so much that you really want to offer on it? It's important to have that upfront conversation and really confront the issue at hand. They're shopping for a house. Do they want to buy one? I mean, it's that easy, but a lot of people, for some reason, are nervous with confrontation. They just don't feel comfortable with it. And let me tell you from experience, the more you do it, the more comfortable it gets, just like anything in life. I mean, all you're trying to do is help someone. So are you helping them when you don't even ask them if they want to buy something? No, you're just wasting their time showing them around the house, being a chauffeur taxi service. Same with the listings. You go on a listing appointment and you never ask them to commit to you and sign the contract. Do you think they're going to sign the contract? Probably not. So it's important to ask for the close. Learn about closing. What does it take to make someone feel comfortable, answer all their questions, show the value that you're going to provide to them, and then ask for the contract. Ask for them to sign on the dotted line. Ask them for a commitment, because you are there to represent them as a real estate professional, and you're going to do your best job that you can to help them. So ask, can I help you? Will you commit? Now, one more thing you should learn about is in this video right here, talking all about credit scores. Even though we're not part of that deal and not part of improving people's credit scores, oftentimes we have clients that do not have good credit. So click this video right here, teaches you everything you want to know about credit.